It might be a hard one. Okay. Yellow. Is it hard because you don't associate it with yellow?
I really don't see yellow on the picture. Well, there's some leaves in the picture that are yellow.
Ooh.
I mean, I guess this animal could be blonde, but...
Is it a horse?
It is.
I don't know how I got there. Oh, this is the equivalent of a blonde horse. This is like a bay or something.
That's a brown horse. Let's see, a blonde horse is like Spirit.
Yeah, I think this one might be like, I'll hold it up for them. Might be like Spirit though. You want to see it again? I think it's just the lighting.
I just don't want to be rude and say I want to go to bed.
That's fair. I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back with today's recap. This is like my 6th attempt at filming this because I am just so chatty today for some reason. But I finished my square. I love this yellow. It reminds me of aspen leaves in the fall. And I got some more work done on my ornament. Not as much as I was hoping for, but you know, it's plenty. I got lots of yellow in, and I finished up the roof. And I keep having to remind myself it's okay to be brief because this video has the Buttermint tutorial in it. And I'm filming floss tube later, and I can be chatty in that. So I'll send you over to the Buttermint tutorial. There will be no sock show until today, but I will come back with my thoughts, my final thoughts on how I feel about Buttermints. So today we're making Buttermints. I've never made Buttermints before. I don't even know if I like them. I didn't like them growing up, but you know, today's a new day. I'm doing this to procrastinate working on my Christmas socks, which is bad. But that's okay. Anyways, I'm doing everything by hand with a spoon. I feel like the butter looks quite creamy. The recipe I'm using will be linked below. So let's add in some sugar. That's good. They seem pretty easy to make, but I don't know. Maybe I'll experiment with speeding stuff up for this part. It kind of just looks like a bowl of powdered sugar with a slight yellow tinge. But now we're going to add the extracts. There's measurement. Oh, see, this is new. I got to open it for the first time. Oh, it's got the annoying label, which is good because it means nobody could mess with it in the store. But, you know, they're a pain to open. Anyways, the recipe does have measurements, but I'm going to follow my heart. Hi, Luna. This is not for puppies. Okay. But if I remember correctly, it's like a 1/4 teaspoon. How much do I think that is? That's probably a lot, but you know, it's fine. There's a lot of sugar in this. It can handle it. Oh, And this is new vanilla too. I'm gonna have to do both, aren't I? Yup. Do you even have a tab? This doesn't even have a tab to help me. Ugh. Annoying. So many mouth noises too. There we go. I need less of this than the peppermint. That looks good. If I don't like these, my brother has assured me that he is very interested in having them. So I think he'll be fine if they turn out very minty. So I gotta distribute that a little bit, and then I add in the heavy whipping cream. And then we do another super fast mix mode. I believe it's important to taste your work, so let's just pop a little bit off. Quite minty. We have to add the other half of the powdered sugar now, so I'm curious if it's still going to be minty enough after that, but we'll see. Luna is very interested in mint flavoring for some reason. This is the first time in any of these baking or attempting baking videos that she's shown up for. So who knew that she was such a peppermint fan? She's not getting any, but you know, that's fine. I checked my ingredients beforehand this time, so I knew I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough powdered sugar. Let me just threaten you with scissors for a moment. So I got some more, which I'd say would go to waste, except for Kay did end up finding the Panucci fudge and has since eaten half of it, and I've managed to squirrel away the rest where he doesn't look behind the vegetables in the freezer. So, but he did make me feel very guilty about giving away any amount of his fudge, so I think I might end up making more in January. So this won't sit around for a whole year, thankfully. I know sugar never supposedly goes bad, but I don't want it sitting around for a year, you know? Ugh. Powdered sugar always gets in my nose. I don't even know how. I'm not even sending up a dust cloud with a mixer this time, and still it's in my nose, making me want to sneeze. Oh, 8 more grams. We're just getting so close. There we go. I'll deal with that later. We gotta do our final mix mode. feel like it's time to pop off another little bit as a taste test. This is basically the finished product, except it needs to dry out and become hard, I guess. Oh, it's very firm. Well, soft, it has the consistency of like a thick toothpaste, so that I'm not a fan of. But otherwise, that's really good. Let me go rinse off my hands. All that's left is to tip this out and shape it now. I will say, if you're using a mixer for this, I think it might kill your mixer. It was very tough, even once I got my hands in there, because I was afraid I was going to bend my spoon. In another life, this would be bread, but that is not the case in this one. I did ceramics in high school, and one of the things I do during lunches, especially there was a year where my ceramic teacher was pregnant, and so I'd go in during lunch hour, because she didn't have class, and just wedge all the clay for her. And that was so much fun. I miss it, but it's not really good for me to be around clay, because it can grow all sorts of molds and stuff, and I'm very, very sensitive, you know. And then to try and scratch that itch of, I want to make stuff with my hands, knead stuff, I tried to do bread. I knew I had a yeast allergy, right? So if I made bread probably 4 or 5 times, and it always turned out perfectly, and I always got covered in hives, and I couldn't breathe, you know. And I was like, maybe this isn't the answer for me. And now when I get this craving, I guess I can make these. Or what I really do is, well, so I used to make cookie dough. Now I can't do that, because I'm grain free for allergy reasons. I can't touch it. Once again, hives. It's very annoying. But after that happened, I started playing with slime, because sometimes you need to do something with your hands, man. And cross stitch is fun and knitting's fun, but it's not like folded up like Play-Doh type of fun. This has so many air holes in it. That's my fault, though. It's just very dry, and the way it's cracking like that, that's because there's air in the middle. If you ever have that problem, that's why. It just keeps getting smaller and smaller. I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to form these if they don't want to roll out into little, I don't know, tubes, cylinders. Because it's gonna take forever to get through all of this doing it like that. So I'll figure something out. But so far, I'm making this a few days in advance because I know it has to dry out, and I want to be able to give my final verdict on how I feel about Buttermints, especially once they, dry out how they're supposed to. But right now, I think I like them. Except soft, they're kind of like really thick, dried out toothpaste, and there's a little part of me that is absolutely disgusted by that. But hopefully it's better when they're dry. Or maybe that's why I didn't like them as a kid. I don't know. I'll see you in a few days, which will probably be the day that this video goes up. That's what makes sense. See you in a bit. So I ended up deciding to roll them out and cut them into like square things. And these are delicious. I love these. I still think that I probably wouldn't like commercially made Buttermints, because in eating these, I can see exactly how mass production would ruin them. Kind of like the filling of Oreos is good. If you make the filling for Oreos at home, it's much better. And then you can't go back to normal Oreos. I feel like these are very similar in that regard. I'm gonna eat that after I finish filming. Kay's been working night shift. That's why he was complaining about not letting him go to bed. However, the man won't let me open Advent by myself. He needs to open the Advent, which is fine. He's like, they'll think you're mean to me now that they know you're not letting me sleep. I was like, I offered to open this by myself every day. You're the one who says, no, I'm gonna open it. So, yeah, he's a silly goose. There's been weeks where he'll work a night, a swing, and a day in the span of 4 days. And the only reason it's 4 days is because he calls them and goes, hey, I need to sleep more than 2 hours. So, yeah. This is life right now. Hopefully, I mean, the last 3 months he had a pretty solid schedule, and then this past week they've been switching up the days and stuff. So hopefully we're not in for another like chaotic period where his schedule is changing every week, but that's just how it is right now, unfortunately. But yeah, I gotta go redo my notes because I tried to take them last night for my floss tube and they're bad. Gonna do that, gonna edit this, gonna film floss tube, gonna edit that, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.